Welcome to this week's shared reading. We're going to be looking at Chapter 9 of Tiger Tiger. You may remember from last week we looked at Chapter 8 of Tiger Tiger. In this extract, Marcus, Aurelia and Julius are in the palace with Boots. Boots has been taken to the palace by slaves. He's been transported there in a cage. And to be honest, everyone's having a snooze in the book. The slaves have all fallen asleep. Julius is having a doze. Boots is asleep on the floor. The people that aren't asleep are Marcus and Aurelia. They come up with a plan. They want to play a trick on Julius, perhaps get him into trouble. We pick up the story this week in chapter 9. We're jumping forward a little bit in the story. Aurelia and Marcus have managed to find a place for Boots to go to in the palace. They've taken him into the wine cellar of the palace. On this clip, you can see a picture of what a modern day wine cellar might look like. So this week's extract, it starts just as Boots has been left alone. Boots, this tiger, has been left alone in the wine cellar of the palace. Okay, just for this lesson, I'm going to read through the extract from chapter 9. At the beginning of each lesson, for the rest of the week, it'd be really great if you could start by reading through the extract yourself, just to familiarise yourself with it and practice reading it. Okay, here goes. He was thirsty now, and he could smell something like sour water. He nosed one of the jars. He pushed it. It tilted slightly, and he heard the sound of liquid sloshing about in it. He put his head under the jar and pushed it upwards. It fell out of its stand with a crash. The precious wine flooded out and spread its dark pool amid the broken shards of the earthenware pot. Boots leapt away in fright, shaking his ears against the loud echo of the crash. Nothing else happened, and he cautiously returned to see what the liquid was. He lapped up some of it. He didn't like it much, but it was thirst-quenching, so he drank more of it. He began to feel strange. He shook his head again and went on lapping. He was getting a taste for it when something new happened. The door opened and several two-legs came in. The tiger looked up. They stopped dead in the entry. There was a pause. A breath of fresh air with some interesting smells wafted in past them. The two legs disappeared as if they had never stood there, leaving a trail of noises. By the time Boots emerged into the passage, they had gone. He looked along the passage and saw, up some steps and through another open door, the side of the hill with the shadow of oncoming night on it. The strong evening odours of green things and living things were in his distended nostrils, drawing him toward them more powerfully than the smell of wine. He became aware that he was not alone, that there was no bars, no two legs to restrain him, no impediment at all, nothing between him and that tantalizing bouquet of aromas. The smell of the natural world, the smell of freedom. He hesitated no longer. He turned towards the opening, ran forward, took the steps in one spring, and when he reached the outer portal, bounded through it. At this point in the lesson, I'd like you to have a go at reading through the extract by yourself. As you do so, you can annotate the extract with anything you don't understand, any words you want to check the meaning of. You can do that by underlining just the particular words or phrase that you're not sure of or that you want to look into a little bit more. As an example, I've underlined a phrase myself. Right in the middle there it says, he was getting a taste for it when something new happened. The door opened and several two-legs came in. I've just underlined that phrase, several two-legs came in. So immediately when I read that, I think, well, what is a two-legs? And it says that several two-legs came in. That makes me think, how many were there? Could that be 2, 3, 4, possibly 5? Doesn't tell us. Who are these two legs? Now you might remember from class that we worked out that two legs refers to a human in this story, because from the point of view of a tiger, they don't really know what a human is, but they would recognise a human as being distinctive because it walks on two legs, compared to many of the animals that they will know from the jungle, which would walk on four legs. So that's a phrase that I picked out as something that was worth considering. Are these two legs, these humans that have come, are they the slaves? Are they Julius? Who are these people? Do they just work at the palace? So it's just a really good opportunity just to get thinking about the extract. What is going on here, and clarify anything that you're not sure of. Now you've had an opportunity to read through the text yourself and explore the meaning of what's happening in the extract. It's time to move on to your clarifying task. So I've selected 5 words, and these are underlined in your copy of the extract. The words are sloshing, tilted, wafted, tantalising, and thirst quenching. I've given you some definitions, and your job is to match up these words to the correct definition. It's either when a smell or a sound has moved gently through the air, when something that you want very much is close but just out of your reach, when a liquid is moving irregularly with a splashing sound, if you have moved something so that one side is higher than the other, or an adjective to describe a satisfying drink. Make sure you use a ruler and a pencil, just as you would in class. Match up these words to their definitions. Now you've had a chance to work out the definitions of these words, let's go through the answers together. So sloshing. Sloshing means when a liquid is moving irregularly with a splashing sound. So in this extract, it's the sloshing sound is wine, wine inside the jar. Tilted. Tilted means if you have moved something so that one side is higher than the other. That means you've tilted it. Wafted. I love the word wafted. Wafted is when a smell or a sound has moved gently through the air. I love it when your favourite food is wafting through the kitchen. It's a lovely smell. Tantalising. Tantalising means when something that you want very much is close, but just out of your reach. It's so close, it's frustrating. You want it so much and it's there, but you just can't quite get it. It's tantalising. And the final word is thirst quenching, which is a lovely word to describe a satisfying drink. It quenches your thirst. It takes away your thirst or makes you feel much better. All of these words we'll be going into a little bit more detail in our vocabulary sessions this week, so make sure you do catch up with those.